Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, I am doing my best to get back on track with daily uploads, and so yeah, I'm gonna really try to commit to that a little bit harder in the next couple of weeks after taking 2 weeks or so off. So it's good to be back, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Anyway, it's a brand new season of Battle Spot, and there are a couple of new teams and ideas that I wanted to try out, especially since we'll be on the lower ladder, and I think I'll be able to feature a new team tomorrow using some pretty cool Pokemon and strategies, and I want to just have some fun, or especially a little bit earlier on Battle Spot. But there's still like 2 more Pokemon I need to get together for my team that I'll be finishing up tonight, so I'm going to be using Zoe Lowe's team for one more episode. Of course, this is the team that Zoe Lowe piloted to get first at the Melbourne International Championships this past weekend, or 2 weekends ago, I guess. If you're interested in the team, you can check out the global link code in the description below, as well as Zoe's Twitter. Once again, congratulations to her for winning the tournament, and huge thank you to her for putting the team up online for other people to try it out. So yeah, we are, like I mentioned, starting a brand new season of Battle Spot, and we're all the way down to the 1500s now. But yeah, like I said, there are a couple of things that I want to try out for fun, especially because with VGC 17, like, there's so much stuff that's viable, and so hopefully I can get some cool stuff going on and try out some different teams really soon. It's really just kind of getting it in game and getting it all together. But yeah, we're gonna look for our first opponent of the day. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, let's just look for somebody. We're going to find Tommy from San Jose, or Costa Rica, I said. And with a rating of 1529, running a pretty cool team here. Tommy with Gyarados, Alolan Marowak, Tapu Koko, Persian, Porygon 2, and Kartana. So, a lot of meta picks. I think the Persian is definitely the one that sticks out to me the most. Because it's something that's actually risen in popularity thanks to Marcus Statter. He was using a Persian team for a while, obviously one of the most notable players in the world. And then Sebastian Escalante actually was the first seed going into the top 8 of the Oceania International Championships with the Persian team as well. It was like a modified version of Marcus's team. And so I'm wondering if we're going to see Persian here. Obviously, kind of relies on, one, dishing out damage with foul play, and also using Parting Shot to really decrease your stats. So the Porygon is kind of concerning, and it makes me kind of want to lead the Tapu Koko just to taunt. I suppose Koko isn't too bad here. Like, taunting is a good enough reason to bring it. A couple of other things, like, Magnezone's really tempting here, actually, but you can't really quite bring it. I mean, the Marowak is, I guess, the biggest cause for concern, right? Kind of want to go like Koko Lele, just so Koko pressures with Taunt, and Lele sets up Psychic Terrain so I can pressure with Psychic and Moonblast. In the back, I need to pick soon. I'm going to go with Garchomp and Gyarados. Yeah. Basically, I feel like my opponent has to kind of commit to the Marowak with this team, and if that's the case, then I can punish it heavily by bringing both my Garchomp and my Gyarados. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going for the Drifblim combination this time around. That could be a mistake, but my opponent's team, there are a lot of slow Pokemon. Actually, thinking about it, maybe my fort should have been Drifblim. We see Koko Persian here. Okay. So, I mean, I definitely put on some more offensive pressure. You know, like Foul Play, for example, isn't going to do very much, and Psychic Terrain will be up. I think Persian here is probably going to want a Parting Shot away to get a free switch into something. Like, I would say I prefer my position more than my opponent's. But, obviously, my opponent's like one good switch away, or one good Parting Shot away from, you know, changing it up. So, if I were my opponent, I'd probably Parting Shot Lele. And maybe protect Koko. Like, I want a really dazzling Gleam here and go for a prediction and just Psychic the Persian, expecting like a Marowak to come in. Or even a Kartana. Yeah, I'm going to Psychic Persian. This may seem silly, but like there's little reason for Persian to stay in here. And it switches out. You didn't go for a Parting Shot. Actually, can you Parting Shot with Psychic Terrain? It is priority, right? So I don't think you can. Okay, he discharges instead of going for a Protect. But Lele is pretty bulky, and without Terrain up, yeah, wow, I take that really easily. But there's the Paralysis. Okay, as long as I get the Psychic off, that's fine. If not, then I'm actually in a really frustrating position. Okay, at least I get the Psychic off. So that should just eliminate Marowak immediately. Oh, it actually hangs on. But I guess it actually works more in my favor because that prevents my opponent from getting a free switch in. So I can just taunt here and Psychic, or Dazzling Gleam, sorry, and Psychic the Koko slot. And he can't paralyze my Koko. I guess the one concern is if it's like Twinkle Tackle Koko. But I think we speed tie here too. Yeah, without the paralysis, I don't know, I'd feel definitely super comfortable, but I'm still not that concerned because the thing about Persian is it puts on some pressure, obviously, but like Parting Shot and Foul Play, like you can only do so much with it. So Marowak actually switches out into Porygon. Okay. I'm okay with that because I can taunt that next turn. Download's going to give it an attack increase. That's fine. And we just see another discharge. So my opponent choosing to discharge himself again. Actually paralyzing himself. That's the risk you run into. So if I don't get fully paralyzed here, that's going to be a knockout onto the Koko. And I can just pressure Porygon with taunt next turn. But I am paralyzed. That's a little bit unfortunate. But okay. That's fine. Yeah, I'm just going to taunt Porygon here and Psychic. I kind of want to double up into it. I mean, Discharge shouldn't knock out either of my Pokemon. Thunderbolt might not even knock out Lele, to be honest. But I don't want Trick Room to go up, so I'm going to taunt and... yeah, I'll just Psychic Koko, actually. Because Psychic Porygon isn't going to knock it out anyway. I've got Garchomp with the Z move in the back. And he switches out. Okay, that's fine. That's pretty smart, actually. Probably just gonna discharge again. Yeah. So as long as I don't get paralyzed here, things will be okay. Because that's not gonna knock out Koko. So Marowak can't protect next turn either. And... nice. No full paralysis. So that's Psychic going into the Koko slot. That will pick up the knockout. And that's the fastest start on my opponent's team down. So presumably Porygon's going to come back in, but I'm okay with that. Marowak's kind of dead weight for my opponent because I do have Garchomp and Gyarados sitting in the back. So, yeah, you kind of see like how Tapu Koko sometimes struggles with getting a lot of damage off. Because without a Life Orb or an electric like boosting item and without the terrain, he really wasn't doing too much damage there. I could just Dazzling Gleam Psychic here instead of taunting. I think I still want to deny Trick Room though. Because if I get fully paralyzed with Lele, then I actually don't knock out the Porygon. Like, I'm willing to trade both of my Pokemon here if it means Porygon gets taunted. Because then Gyarados and Garchomp come in for free, and I can just safely get knockouts onto the Porygon. Although, maybe I should have gone for damage. I'm thinking because he could potentially... he still has the Persian in the back. So if I weren't paralyzed, things would be a little bit easier. Oh, but I'm still faster anyway. Okay. Then that makes life a lot easier because Psychic almost just knocks out Porygon. And now Garchomp just closes out this game by itself. And I've got Gyarados in the back as well. But yeah, Lele's going to faint there. That's what happens. You know, the paralysis nerf obviously helps me out a little bit here too because now, you know, your speed is only decreased by half as opposed to a quarter. So Trick Room Pokemon still have trouble outspeeding you there. I wasn't sure how fast my opponent's Marowak was going to be. Especially because this Tapu Lele is like super slow and bulky. But evidently, you know, still able to outspeed and knock out. So, gonna bring out my Garchomp and my Gyarados. And with both of my opponent's Pokemon taunted, I can safely go for a free Earthquake. And there's absolutely nothing my opponent can do to stop the double... I guess it's not a double knockout. Actually, one cute play... No, I don't know if my Earthquake from... oh, I didn't even have Earthquake on this Gyarados, never mind. Zoe had the... she had the Flamethrower for Cortana, which is actually a really cool tech. I think I'm just going to Earthquake Dragon Dance here. Like, I outspeed Persian after one D-Dance. Z-move should knock it out. My opponent here, one Pokemon's going to get knocked out. The other has to switch out, but even if it switches out, like, Psychic Terrain's going to run out. The best play for my opponent is to switch one out at least to put on some pressure, but yeah, that's not going to be the case. That's, like, another thing that Taunt comes really in handy in, like, preventing your opponent from protecting. I mean, obviously, it's mainly used to stop Trick Room, and kind of utility support moves, but also, like, blocking protects means that you can predict a lot easier, and, you know, a lot about VGC and doubles specifically is gaining momentum with protect, so, you know, wasting your opponent's attacks, but in a position like this, like, that was a 100% free play that I could make, and there was no downside to that whatsoever. It's also one of the benefits of stopping Trick Room when your opponent's running a relatively slow team. So, Persian's going to come back in, but there's no way a Persian can really do this 2v1. And so I'm just going to go for a Tectonic Rage. Yeah, I mean, like, Persian can fake out one of my 2 Pokemon, but either Pokemon can 2-shot it anyway at this point. If it fakes out, it's obviously taking an attack. If it goes for a foul play, then, you know, it's not going to knock out either, and then both just knock it out in return. So we do pick up a win with our first game. Pretty content about that. I mean, I think the lead matchup helped immensely. Having Lele out against the Koko and the Persian just put on a lot of pressure immediately. Going for the Psychic onto the switch-in was pretty helpful as well. Doing so much damage to the Marowak immediately. And fortunately, I didn't get fully paralyzed in the more important situations. And having a bulky Lele definitely helped out a lot there. I mean, my opponent, I think, discharged 3 times and both of my Pokemon were able to hang on. So that was pretty clutch. And, yeah, you know, he did a little bit of chip damage onto his own Porygon as well, which was pretty interesting. But do pick up a win for our first game of the season. Pretty content about that. We're just going to look for our next one. And I already mentioned this as we find Paul. I wonder if this is the actual Paul Chua, because that would be pretty funny. I don't think I've actually played Paul once on Battle Spot this season. If this is Paul Chua, you guys probably recognize him. We played him a ton back in 2015. I think we ran into him like 4 times in the beginning of the season. One of the best players in the country, won a regionals earlier this year. Qualified for the Worlds like all the last couple of years. Not sure if that is Paul, but like normally later on in the season it's easy to tell because Paul from New Jersey with a rating of like 1900 plus is definitely going to be in, but with everyone's Battle Spot rating resetting, I'm not sure. Either way, this should be a fun match. He's running a really cool team. Tapu Fini, Arcanine, another Porygon, Gigalith, Kartana, and Togedemaru. And of course, Togedemaru really sticking out because it did take home a regional championship just a couple weekends ago over in St. Louis. How do I want to approach this? I might go Lele, Drifblim. So, because the thing is, Drifblim puts on a lot of pressure with Will-O-Wisp immediately. I guess the main concern is that Fini. Like, I want to bring Koko to stop Trick Room, but I like Magnezone Zone a little bit more here. Or Magnezone Garchomp, not Magnezone Zone. Like, Koko doesn't do any damage in this matchup, and its attacks can be redirected by Togedemaru. Gyarados is tempting, especially because it does have Flamethrower, but it gets one-shot by Togedemaru, and, like, Arcanine could have Wild Charge, which can one-shot it, Gigalith can one-shot it, and I feel like I have enough ways to deal with the Kartana. Like, Thunderbolt probably two-shots it, unless it's Assault Vest. Even so, like, I've got potential Will-O-Wisp on Drifblim as well. The concern is, however, Fini coming in here. But we see Porygon Kartana, okay. However, the other concern is Fini switching in. Because, basically, there are 2 ways this can play out right now. Like, this is an interesting lead, right? Because it's like, okay, you have Porygon and Kartana. Kartana's really fast, Porygon's really slow. Porygon can try to set up Trick Room immediately. Like, I'd love to just Will-O-Wisp Kartana and Psychic Porygon. But the thing is, that kind of has problems if Porygon switches out into Tapu Fini. So I could also just Shadow Ball Kartana. This one's tough. Because Shadow Ball Kartana covers... Like, I would love for Porygon to actually switch out into Fini. But the Trick Room option's so bad as well. I'm switching into Magnezone and Shadow Balling here. But this could go very poorly. If Fini switches in from Porygon, I'd be very happy, because Magnezone also threatens Fini immensely. He stays in with both. Yeah, so I could have just Will-O-Wisp Psychic there. Smart Strike, yeah, coming out into Magnezone. Do we see Trick Room? Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't, like, the worst case scenario. Because, like, right now, Kartana is super speedy, and so... Like, I can just knock it out with Magnezone. But then it's like, there's still 3 turns of Trick Room fully. I also don't know, like, Gigalith's in the back. I don't know if it has Earthquake, and I do have Magnerize to actually stop that. So I kind of want to just protect and burn a turn of Trick Room here. I actually don't want to knock out Kartana, though. But I also don't want to switch out. He could have switched Kartana out into Gigalith. No, okay. I went for the Will-O-Wisp, but there's like no better play because I want Kartana to be on the field. Oh, it actually went for a Protect. That's interesting. Ice Beam. Okay. Yeah, with the special defense boost, I take that decently well. So I still need to really be able to chunk Porygon down enough to make sure it doesn't get a second Trick Room up. And Sacred Sword from Kartana is obviously an issue, so as much as I'd love to go for a Magnezone, I might just have to attack here. Yeah, I'm just gonna Thunderbolt. And I mean, I could Will-O-Wisp that slot covering a switch, and I guess that's better than anything else I could do. Yeah. No switch. Okay, just a try attack. That's fine, unless it freezes me. Okay. So I burned 2 turns of Trick Room, but there's gotta be a Gigalith coming in, right? Yeah, as Will-O-Wisp fails. And I guess the other thing about Gigalith coming in is, like, you can only choose one between Rock Slide and Earthquake. So if Gigalith does come in, that's not too much of a surprise. But you've got to be concerned about getting burned, right? Like, I'd also just switch out Drifblim. I think it's definitely going to be Rock Slide Ice Beam into the Drifblim slot. So I don't really have the best switch-ins for that. I think I'll just take a guaranteed play here and Will-O-Wisp and Flash Cannon that slot. Z-move? No, just Rock Slide. Ooh, okay, no. If Drifblim avoided that, that like would have been so good, because then I just get the Will-O-Wisp off. But at least this means I won't flinch, which is already good enough for me. And yeah, she's going to try attack. So as long as there's no status condition, that's good. Crits me, that's fine. Okay, get the Flash Cannon off. I think Flash Cannon probably still 2-shots Gigalith. Yeah, it does. Wow, that's good damage. I guess the crit can be frustrating, but Porygon is taking residual damage, and I can double protect this turn. Yeah, I want to bring in Garchomp. But the issue is, if I double protect, can my opponent get another Trick Room up? Because Porygon definitely recovers here. So actually, the better play might be to not protect with Magnezone. I don't know what the last one is, but it can't be Kartana, and Garchomp plus Lele can deal with any of the 3 in the back. So yeah, I'm actually just going to launch a Flash Cannon into Porygon, covering a potential Togedemaru option, and protect this turn. Even if Magnezone goes down... Okay, Gigalith switches out into Togedemaru. Nice. Okay. It's Air Balloon too. So, the good thing about this is I will get a Flash Cannon off against the Porygon. Oh, and he Ice Beams instead of recovering too. He can't Fake Out either because of the terrain. So that's also good. So I'm pretty sure... Okay, so terrain disappears, but that's fine, because I can just switch back out into Lele. Yeah, I don't want Trick Room going up. And I'm going to Tectonic Rage into Porygon. The only issue is, like, with the balloon on Togedemaru, Earthquake doesn't knock him out. Unless this Togedemaru has a way to knock out Garchomp. And I don't know its full moveset. I mean, typically it's like Fake Out, you know, Zing Zap, Spiky Shield, and maybe Encore. Yeah, he just Zing Zaps. It does an okay amount, but not enough. And I will get my Z move off, so this should knock out the Porygon, which is good. The other reason why that's important is because Gigalith can't touch Garchomp. So all I need to do is... I guess he could have Wide Guard. That'd be another concern. But most importantly, right now, I deny Trick Room from going up from the Porygon's end, which is what my biggest concern was. Yeah, that picks up the knockout. And that's why going for Flash Cannon on the Porygon there was important to get enough chip damage with the Sandstorm and the Burn to put it in Tectonic range KO. He could still flinch me with Zing Zap, I suppose. But that should be fine. I'm just going to Psychic Gigalith and Rock Slide to knock out the Balloon. Actually, maybe I want to switch out Lele. Yeah, I actually like the idea of switching out Lele because... Oh, shh. That is not what I meant to do. That's super bad, actually. Actually, no, it should still be fine. Yeah, I meant to switch out the Lele. But the reason why that's okay is because now I can just double up into Gigalith. Like, you can Zing Zap Lele. I mean, I could probably switch into Chomp safely here, right? Even if you Zing Zap Magnezone. No, I should get the guaranteed knockout here. Onto Gigalith. Yeah, because there's... Right now, you can only flinch one of my two Pokemon. Oh, you could go for the double. Okay, yeah, he doesn't get it. Nice. The concern there is, like, let's say I actually switch out Lele into Garchomp and Togedemaru Zing Zaps Magnezone and flinches me. Then I'm in some trouble, but, like, Togedemaru, pretty sure it shouldn't be able to 1v1 Garchomp. So that's good. Unless it's got, like, HP Ice? Which could be bad. I mean, fake out Zing Zap, Encore. Ooh, I actually have to be careful about Encore. Oh, that's quite bad, actually. But Zing Zap shouldn't do anything to Magnezone, so Magnezone can just keep attacking it. But I guess I'll lock myself in a Rock Slide because I don't want to Earthquake myself. Like, I don't think Togedemaru has a way to offensive... Yeah, okay, my opponent just forfeits. Like, we actually saw Alex Underhill, who used Togedemaru to win the St. Louis Regional Championships, win with Togedemaru against Porygon in an Encore War. But I don't think there was any out there, because if you Encore Garchomp in a Rock Slide, like, you still have no way to touch it offensively. So I needed to make sure I didn't go for a Substitute or a Protect there, because if I do, then I actually get locked in. But with two Pokemon out on the field at the same time, and Togedemaru only having Zing Zap for damage, it obviously doesn't do anything against Garchomp or Magnezone. So I think I was in the clear there anyway, but definitely a pretty scary game. We were able to really win off, you know, wasting turns at Trick Room, making sure Gigalith was inefficient at the time it was out. And fortunately, you know, Rock Slide missed Magnezone, so I didn't have to deal with Flinch, putting it in KO range, and then chipping Porygon enough to the point where it was in Tectonic KO range. So pretty content about how those two games played out. Yeah, relatively hacks-free, I think, and some solid opponents and cool teams all around. And yep, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, please leave a like if you did. Like I mentioned, I'm planning on featuring a new team, I think, starting tomorrow's episode. There are a couple of more new and fun ideas that I want to try out. They might not be the best, but we're on lower ladder right now, so, you know, it's probably the best time to try out some more fun and interesting kind of stuff. But yeah, once again, go check out Zoe Lowe, who created this team. You can check her Twitter out in the description below, as well as the team global link. Global link. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It's the start of a new season, so it should be pretty exciting as we decide to climb back up, and I'll catch you guys next time. Alright, peace.